Welcome friends to another video from the array method series. Today I'm super excited because we're going to talk about the reduce method, one of my favorite ones. This method is so powerful that you can do almost anything related to arrays. It's actually so powerful that some people seem to be scared of it and try to avoid it all the time, but there is nothing to worry about. Today we're going to crack it. I'm going to walk you through different scenarios so you understand it 100%. And if you still have any doubt, just please leave me a comment on the comment section and I'm going to be super happy to answer it. But first, if you haven't subscribed yet, please let me grow this channel by subscribing and smashing the like button. Let's do some code. The best way to explain the reduce method is through an example. Here we have a list of numbers that goes from 1 to 5. If we wanted to do this in an old-fashioned way, we could use a for loop. For example, we could start by typing a total variable that starts at 0, and then we could do for let number of numbers, grab the total variable, say on each iteration, to say total plus the current number. And by adding number to the total, we end up having 15. And 15 is nothing more than the sum of all these numbers. 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, plus 4, 10, plus 5, 15. Using a for loop is a totally valid way to solve this problem, but we want to use something more modern. We want to use something like reduce because it avoids some problems and also brings some benefits that I also explained in previous videos, like in the map or the filter method. You can find them on the top of the screen. So if we want to use the reduce method, we would do something like numbers, reduce, and the reduce method now expects two parameters. The first one is going to be a function that is going to run against each value of the list, and the second method is the initial value we want to have, the value that we are initializing here as total equals 0. So if I do something like const initial value equals 0, and here I'm going to define the function accumulator and then current value, we're going to do the body of the function and then we're going to provide an initial value, right? So what is going to happen here is that the initial value is going to go in the first iteration to the accumulator, and then the current value will be 1. The second time, the value returned here is going to be in the accumulator, and the current value will be 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. We can actually log it to see it. So we can do return accumulator plus current value. You will see that we'll get another 15 here. And if I console log this, you will see that first we had 0, 0, then we said 0 plus 1, 1, then the next time the accumulator was 1, next time was 2 plus 1, 3, the next time we had a 3 here, plus 3 was 6, and 10. And last one, this would be 10, and the current value of 5, then 15. So actually we could simplify this and do something like this an arrow function. So I don't need the return, I also don't need the curly braces, and actually I don't need to use the initial value here and I can just provide a 0. So we would have here our function. Also, something that not many people know is that if you remove the initial value from here, what it will happen is that the first iteration will have 1 in the accumulator and the second one and the current value. So if I remove the 0, this will still work. Okay, this method is very cool because it simplifies a lot what we have to do, but at the same time, the example we did here was very simple. And I've said at the beginning of the video that this method was very powerful and we could do a lot of stuff. So let me give you another example. Here I have a list of characters from Star Wars, and some of them belong to different factions or sides. Here we have Luke Skywalker, that is from the side of the light, Darth Vader from dark, and Leia from the light side. Let's say that we have here another object that says by category where we have two properties, light and dark, and we want to very easily start allocating these characters within its right faction or side. So something we could do here is we could get the characters variable and we could reduce it in this object. We could do reduce, we could provide a function, accumulator, then the current value, and as initial value we could use by category, right? And then accumulator will be always by category, right? So what we can do here is we could say I want to use by category, and then I want to allocate this current value based on the site. So I could do current value dot site, that can be either dark or light, and here that I'm accessing this array, I'm going to do push and provide the current value. So by doing so, we would be returning nothing here. So you have to remember to always provide at the end the whatever you want to provide as the accumulator. Sorry, this should be accumulator here. So if we do this, what we have achieved? We now have these objects where we have light, then we have here the two characters belonging to light, and the third one dark. Let me show you another example. We have here a list of videos, and each video have a title, a duration, and an ID, something to identify this video. Let's say that instead of iterating over each element every time that we want to do a search, for example, we want to access these items always by ID, and because we know that, instead of searching by that ID, we want to access them faster, and we want to transform this into an object where we can do something like videos, the ID we want, we would get it. This would give us filter method, and this would give us find method here, right? So something we could do is say something like cons videos to videos map. So we have a map, and here we're gonna do videos, reduce, again accumulator. You can do this to shorten the name, and the current value, right? And then here what we want to have as initial value is just an object. What do we want to do here? We want to do that every time we iterate, we want to get the accumulator, we want to get the video ID, use it as a key, and assign to that key the video itself, the object containing the whole thing. So by doing this so simple, what we have achieved is now that videos map have some problem. Yeah, see, as I forget here returning the accumulator, and then the accumulator wasn't longer this, but just the result of this assignation, which was bow. So now we have here this video map, and what it contains is an object which has 3 keys, 1, 2, and 3, and each key contains the object. And this was the reduce method. I hope you have enjoyed the video and you have a better understanding now about how it works. But if you still have any question, please don't hesitate of leaving them on the comment sections. And also subscribe and smash the like button. See you in the next one. Bye.